Good morning, children. So, children, today we are going to discuss about early tradition of bhaktis. Okay. So, what type of bhakti tradition used to be there in early time period we will study out here. Now, in early time, the poet saint they emerged as a leader and they developed a community of their devotee. And slowly, what we can see is that there was an increase of devotee in the community group which the person they have created. Now, during that time, we could see the Brahman work as an intermediaries between the god and the devotee. That is, they used to perform the sacrifice and the ritual towards gods for their devotee. Clear? And they regard women and the lower caste ineligible for liberation within the orthodox Brahmanical framework. Now, the early bhakti tradition has emerged from South India, and these bhakti saints they used to spread their message of unconditional love towards God in regional language that was being used by the ordinary people. Now, historian had classified the bhakti tradition into two categories. Those are Sagun and Nirguna. And Sagun with attribute and Nirguna without attribute. Okay. Now, Saguna were again classified into three. They were Alvaras, nayanas, and worshipper of goddess. Okay. Now, Sagun they worship their god in anthropomorphic form. As Sagun, they include worship of specific deities as Shiva, Vishnu, and their avatars and the form of goddess which we call as Devi. Clear? That is, Sagun, they used to worship the idol which we call in Hindi, they used to do Murti Puja. Okay. Whereas Nirguna often worship an abstract form of God. Clear? Next is Alvara and nayanas of Tamil Nadu. We will see. The two earliest bhakti movement of Tamil Nadu around 6th century were led by Alvaras. Now Alvaras were those who were the devotee of Vishnu and nayanas were those who were the devotee of Shiva. Now these Alvaras and nayanas they used to travel from place to place singing hymns in local language that is Tamil in praise their God. That is they used to do bhajan kirtan when they used to travel from one place to another. Okay. Now during this travel Alvaras and nayanas when they used to move from place to place singing hymns what they used to do? They used to choose certain shrine that we call in Hindi Tirth Sthan of their deities and they used to build the temple out there and later that place become a sacred place and developed as a center of pilgrimage. Okay. Now later we could see that the worship of the image of saint along with the deity started and singing the composition of the poet saint become the part of the temple ritual in those shrines. Okay. Now next is our attitude towards caste. That is what was the attitude towards caste they used to have we will study out here. Now Alvaras and nayanas they protest against the caste system that is division of caste. They used to say that this division should not be there and even they used to protest against the dominance of Brahmins towards the lower caste. As we all know that in earlier time period the Brahman they used to dominate the lower caste, isn't it? So this thing was not liked by the Alvaras and the nayanas, so they were protesting against this. Okay. Now the bhaktas or we can say the devotee of Alvaras and nayanas they join them, that is they join Alvaras and nayanas group as they belong from the different social background like it might be the Brahmins, artisan, cultivator, untouchable group also. So they all the people from all this group, they become the bhaktas, or we can say the devotee of Alvaras and nayanas. Now the composition made by Alvaras and nayanas were as much important as of the Vedas. Now the composition of Alvaras was Nal Ira Divya Prabandham, and it was described in Tamil Vedas, and they claim that their text was as much important as the four Vedas in Sanskrit. Okay, now next we will see about human devotee. The most important feature of Bhakti tradition was the presence of woman as a devotee. You could see an example out there that the composition of Andal, a woman Alvara, her composition was sung widely, and even at present time also it is been sang out there. Clear? Now Andala was a complete devotee, or we can say beloved of Vishnu, and even in a verse her love towards her deity, that is Vishnu, is being expressed. That is, whatever hymns or whatever verse she used to sing, in that she has expressed her love towards her deity, that is Vishnu. Now another woman was also there named Karikal Amir. You could see the image of that woman out also there. She belonged from South India, and she was a devotee of Lord Shiva, and she has adopted the path of asceticism in order to attain her goal. And her composition, whatever composition she has done during that time, was been preserved in Narayana tradition. Okay, about woman devotee. Now next is our relation with the state. So during that time we could see Chola, Pallavas, Pandyas were the ruler who ruled South India, and during their time Buddhism, Jainism prevail in that region for centuries. Now Buddhism and Jainism that prevail in that region for century with the support of the merchant and artisan, and they used to, that is Buddhism and Jainism, they used to receive royal patronage also occasionally. Okay, now Alvaras and nayanas, they used to oppose Buddhism and Jainism through their hymns. The reason for opposition was due to the competition between members of other religious tradition for royal patronage, as because during that time many religious was there. They used to do competition out there. Why? To receive the royal patronage. Okay, now the Chola ruler during that time, they used to support Brahmanical and Bhakti tradition. So what they used to do, they used to give the land as a donation and used to construct temple for Lord Vishnu and Shiva. And some most attractive Shiva temple was been constructed by Chola ruler were Chidambaram and Tanjuvur. Okay, and the Lord Shiva was represented in bronze sculpture also. So you could see the image of the Lord Shiva which is in the form of Nataraj. Okay, now during that time the ruler, they tried to win the support of Alvaras and nayanas, and the ruler, they used to say that they were being supported by the divine, that is God blessing is with them. Okay, now Chola king has introduced Lord Shiva hymns, and they have taken an initiative to write the hymns on the temple wall. Now children, if you all go and visit any old temple, you will find out there that on the wall some verse, some hymns is been written, which was been composed during that time period by the poet, saint and all. Clear? And even the Chola, they have collected and organized the hymns into a text named Tevaram. Okay, so children, today till this much you must go through the early tradition of Bhakti. Okay, thank you.